we recording?
Yeah, we're rolling. I'm sorry to jump in to tell you. Should I have consented to letting you record? No.
No, I like it.
I like it when you sneak up on me unannounced and just start recording, Tyler.
Yeah. I don't know what this is, if this is Radio Yo-Yo or The Goods, but it's a collab episode.
I was just thinking about that, but yeah, who cares? Either one.
Do it both.
Yeah, we could post it on both or whatever. I'm sure that there's not a lot of bleed over. There probably is.
Probably.
Oh, how's your week been, Jake?
Good. I'm exhausted. I had a golf outing with my workplace today.
Like so golf?
Yeah, like ball golf. So
damn.
I'm tired. I'm really fucking tired because it takes like 6 hours to play ball golf.
Did you walk? You didn't like?
No, we had the golf carts.
Oh, word.
It was legit, but I don't play it often, so I'm really sore and tired, and I probably sunburned.
Did you get white boy wasted like all the other?
No, I didn't drink at all. Yeah.
Have you ever seen that clip of a woman who's drinking like a huge beer on the golf course? She's obviously like a senior citizen, and it's like 7 a.m, and the woman recording is like, "Meryl, it's 7 a.m," and she's like, "I had to wash the Percocet down with something."
That's hilarious. No, I haven't seen that.
It's a good one. It's a good one. Is that the first time you've ever played golf before?
It's like the second or third time.
Okay.
But I liked it. It was a lot of fun. It's just I like disc golf a lot because it's free and it's in the woods.
Yeah.
And
disc golf, I feel like, is the antithesis of actual golf.
It really is, like, socially, because
there's camaraderie.
The thing with ball golf is if you want to play the best with disc golf, if you want to play the best disc golf course in the world, it's technically this place, Maple Hill in Massachusetts, and you go there and you pay to play. Most courses are free. You do have to pay for the really nice ones.
Right.
But you can go. The thing with ball golf is if you want to play the best course in the world or the country, you can't get in. You just never will. You can't, and you never fucking will, because you have to know someone or you have to make a certain amount of money.
Or you got to eat a baby in front of Bill Clinton.
Like you literally have to know like a president for some of these spots. There's one in New Jersey that like multiple presidents have houses on the course, like former presidents. So like you're just never going to you're just going to have to dream. Like,
only 11 middle schoolers have been murdered.
Right. Oh my God. Who knows what's
the nefarious activity
buried in the sand traps. But it's just like that to me is so when I get into something, I get into it.
Yeah,
so I've already played the best disc golf courses in the country.
That's
like sick. I get into it. So
yeah, golf is weirdly expensive.
If I get into golf, I'm not even going to get to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like such a bummer to me. I don't know. So I'm not getting into golf.
And I feel like people who play golf like rarely have the time to actually, like you said, invest to get better at it. Yeah. So they just kind of like stay shitty their entire life and just continue to spend money on better equipment for like no justifiable reason. It's very similar to yo-yo, where people just like continue getting new shit for no reason. And they're like, oh, just what I do. And it's like, I get it. That's cool. The older I get, the more I understand why old dudes enjoy the nothing activities, like the fishing,
golf and fishing. Golf is great. It was a beautiful day. Like you get to. But the problem with golf, too, is the courses are so bad for the environment. They take up so much water and so much land.
I didn't even think about that.
Where it really is like a problem. Whereas disc golf courses work with the land always. Like there are some ball golf style disc golf courses that are just like rolling hills and wide open shots. But 99% of disc golf courses are in the woods.
Right.
Like you're among nature and you're working with nature. It's very low impact. So like, it's a superior sport socially and then also environmentally. Like,
and everyone's wearing those Vibram 5 fingers. Just everything's good, you know?
Yeah. No, that's funny. Some of the guys at my work had some were golfers. So they had they brought their own clubs. They had the gloves on. They had the rangefinder going.
The rangefinder?
Yeah, it's like a thing you look through to see how far away something is. So you're like, all right, that's 300 yards. I got to hit 9 iron for that one or whatever. But I just had a good time, but I'm like exhausted. So we're doing a podcast though. Yeah. Well, you know, it is what it is. I'm here. I'm present.
I always see a lot of people online flipping golf clubs like at thrift stores and stuff. Cause people just get rid of old ones. And Like, I need to step my game up and learn more about them because I'm sure, like, I've seen so many, and I'm just like,
find some sweet ones.
Yeah, I always kind of want to get a set and then give it a try, but it's too much, like you said.
Yeah, just today I think it was $30 a person. Like, it adds up if you want to play golf every week.
Yeah,
like,
that's wild.
It's crazy.
And you can't just play golf for 6 hours. Like, you got to eat while you're there.
That's
and shit,
the lower
right?
end.
And,
yeah, we ate and like. And then the other thing, not to just keep going on about golf.
We've been talking for like 5 minutes about golf.
But the last thing I'll say is you have to have tee time. You have to pay, and then you have to have tee time. So like your expected pace of play is so much more important in ball golf versus disc golf. You can go out and you're basically hiking. Like you're on a hike and you're also playing a game. Versus ball golf, it's like there's people in front of you, there's people behind you. It's a business that you're at. Like you need to keep moving.
Yeah, that makes me more surprised more women don't play golf for that reason. It's so organized.
Oh,
and you go on a schedule all day and everyone yells at one another that they got to keep moving at tempo.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
It's, when you're with the boys, everything's supposed to be loose and free flow and you're just drinking on the course. And
yeah,
I don't know. More women should play golf.
Sure. All sports, yeah. Disc golf. Just play disc golf. It's better.
More women
That's
playing
the moral
disc
of the
golf.
story. But anyway,
I'm gonna think of some topics.
Yeah, you had some topics. I have some.
I have a lot of topics, but they're all random.
It's all right.
When's the last time you went to the Chinese buffet?
The night I moved into this house, actually.
Whoa.
Yeah, my buddy helped me move in.
You guys went together?
Yeah,
Okay.
I closed on the house. And then we're like, what are we going to eat? We spent all day moving stuff in. And we went down the street to the Chinese buffet. I hadn't been to one since I was a little kid.
Okay, so it had been a minute before
a
that
long
point,
time. Yeah, years and years, probably 10 plus years. And it was
How was it?
It was how you expect. Like the food's not that good. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's so bad. I haven't been to one.
You got to know what time to hit those places.
Yeah,
when they
exactly,
do like the fresh food. So I just got like some sushi, vegetable sushi. I'm not getting meat sushi at the buffet. No way.
Why did you even bother go? Did you eat seafood? Any other seafood?
No,
crab legs, no
seafood.
shrimp?
I stuck with the base, like chicken, sweet and sour chicken, like basically chicken
Can't
nuggets.
even imagine how long that was out
Yeah,
there for.
they're chicken nuggets.
all
so
of it's that way.
And
but
then
especially the shit laced
General
in,
Tso's chicken.
in sugar.
Yeah, the sugar preserves it.
Right,
so
exactly.
Fine.
Yeah. That doesn't because
I
always
stuck with like the
viscous.
very basics, but I ate a lot because we were really hungry, and it was a great deal. It was like $11 for like as much as you can fucking eat.
Yeah.
You know? So like it is a great deal if you're very, very hungry and you just want to load up on pretty bad food.
Right.
Yeah,
we used to go all the time when I was a kid, and then like I kind of tapped out when I'm in my older years, or when I moved and started working at YoYo Factory. There's just not as many out in Phoenix. Like there's a lot of sushi and random stuff, which is funny to think about in the middle of the desert eating any kind of seafood or fish or anything. But we're pretty close to LA. It was like a 5-hour drive to LA. Yeah, when I was a kid, we used to go all the time. And then when I moved back to the East Coast, I was like, oh, I'm going to go to a Chinese buffet. Like, I can't wait to go back. And I went and I like brought the girl I was dating at the time. She was like, what's the matter with you? She wasn't like being too bougie about it, but eventually it was just like, okay.
Why are
like,
you so excited?
Yeah, she's like, I cannot eat here. And then like when I ate a little bit, I was like, yeah, you're right. Like, I can't believe I suggested we go here at all. It was awful.
That's so funny.
Yeah, they're terrible. I mean, it's great when you're a kid and you have no standards, you know what I mean? But
I'm sure there's good ones out there, but yeah, you have to really know which one has the enough popularity that the turnover's really fast, you know?
Did you ever go to a CC's Pizza when you were a kid?
Yes. CC's Pizza I really enjoyed.
That
honestly.
hit for a minute when you were a kid, but nowadays it's not. I haven't been in
I can't
15,
imagine it
16
holds
years,
up,
but-
as an adult, but as a kid, I thought that was pretty good trashy pizza. You know, it's not like it was like Pizza Hut level, which I still like Pizza Hut.
I thought it was
even though
worse
they've
than
gone
that,
really
but-
downhill. Yeah, you're right. It was a little worse.
Do you ever get the Pizza Hut individual servings at Target?
Yes,
Like
I
the
do.
express
You know
ones? Me
this. I
too,
do. Yeah, big time.
I didn't know it, to be honest, but
really?
I do all the time.
I feel
get
like
them.
I've told you about that.
I haven't gotten one in like probably 2 years,
Dude.
but
I'm very guilty because there's a Target right near my house, and
it's so perfect. Like I don't know
run
what's
in
good about it.
after
like,
work to like grab some necessities I need, whatever, like a couple groceries, and then I'll just be like,
it's like $5, right? It's not that expensive.
I can just have this for dinner. I don't have to worry about it then.
Yeah.
Or it's just a great midday snack.
It always gives me a stomach ache no matter what.
Yeah,
though.
it's not good. It's just another thing. It's just not good. But I'm addicted to Pizza Hut because I just grew up on Pizza Hut, and
it used to be
to be a lot better because they would make the dough and actually bake the pizzas in pans.
Do you remember the Pizza Hut pans when you were a kid? They're like the Adidas sandals with the little bumps on the bottom.
What were they?
Like the pan. Did you ever go to a Pizza Hut and like you got the black pan at your table and you cut it? Yeah. Like the bottom would have like all the little right. It wasn't frilly because it's made out of like cast iron, but it was all the like little bumps so that the air kind of like flows through it and shit.
They would bring it out steaming in the pan, dude. It was a real pan pizza, and they actually had the fresh dough there because my buddy worked there growing up, and he's like, yeah, you actually have to like stretch dough and make dough, but now it's all frozen doughs that they send in and put through a conveyor belt, just like Domino's. So it's like no fresh dough anymore. It's really gone downhill, unfortunately. But.
Yeah, it's a lot harder to put swastikas on the pizza when they're frozen.
Pepperoni.
Yeah. What do you think about, or green peppers if you're vegan, whatever kind of swastika you want to make? We don't discriminate.
Right.
What do you think about businesses that are old Pizza Huts that didn't change the roof on?
I love that.
That's a grade A piece of Americana there.
It's a good sign.
I wish if anyone knows of a Chinese buffet that's in one of the Pizza Hut old buildings, send us a photo. We're gonna fly there and
record an episode.
We're gonna hold the U.S. National Yo-Yo contest.
We could absolutely record in a Chinese buffet.
Oh yeah,
they would not care.
They wouldn't care. Yeah, you can do whatever you want in there. Yeah.
Because you can be there all day because it's all you can eat. So
I'm surprised they didn't think of like a Chinese pizza or Chinese buffet gate instead of pizza gate, because that's really like it's maritime rules at a Chinese buffet. You can do whatever you want.
I'm drinking Miller Lite, and I'm also drinking single malt Glenmorangie Scotch. So I have like both ends of the alcohol spectrum. I have like high end, and low end. Yeah.
Yeah, you're going in right now. I'm drinking an Evil Genius I Love Lamp. They always have these.
They're from like Philly.
They're from Philly, yeah. They're like literally next door. Well, maybe like half a mile up the street from where I did that pop-up from. But they always have these names for their beers. I guess it's just a name.
Like pop culture references usually.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know. It's cool, but it always makes me...
Mom.
Yeah,
it's one of them.
It makes me question how they haven't gotten in trouble for like their IP. You know what I mean? Because all these companies, I feel like, are very litigious about this kind of shit.
Yeah, it's funny. Who knows?
So when's the last time you went to an actual Pizza Hut restaurant? It's been like over
like a sit down.
Yeah. We used to go when we went to Dutch Wonderland. That was the yearly trip that my grandparents would take all their grandkids on to Dutch Wonderland. And there's a Pizza Hut maybe 20 minutes away from that on the way back home.
We had one
that I actually pass when I go to the Anodizer where we get our yo-yos nickel plated.
Do you remember what town it's in?
It's in Lancaster.
Lancaster Pizza Hut. Okay.
It might be just outside of Lancaster, the Pizza Hut, or it might be out of business by now. I drive by Dutch Wonderland.
Dutch Wonderland is Lancaster. That's right. Okay. There was one near our house, near where I live now, and it's still there, and it's the hut-shaped building, but they are takeout only. You can no longer sit in them.
It's an abortion clinic.
Yeah, takeout.
Sorry.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It's takeout only. Why can't you go in?
They just closed the dining room. So it's just like a lot of them did that. It's hard to find a sit-down Pizza Hut these days.
But they have employees. It should just be all automated. If you just order a pizza, it just makes it with a robot. There's just fucking Pizza Hut robots inside that call you a cracker. We'll make it quick. Get the fuck away from the pizza.
That would be fun when the robots start insulting us.
Oh, man, I can't wait.
Yeah.
Have you...
Just bullying us?
God, I forget what I was just going to ask you. It was about Pizza Hut, though. Have you ever been to a Pizza Hut that has a buffet in it? A Pizza Hut buffet?
Yep. The one I went to growing up had the buffet. Yeah.
That was always a treat when you find those. Yeah.
They had the dessert pizza, which was just trash. It was just like dough with like chocolate syrup on it.
No one cared about that.
But it was still neat.
Because if you had enough space in your stomach to eat the dessert pizza by that point, you didn't care about the quality.
Right. Exactly.
Definitely. You could. Unfortunately, you couldn't drink at Pizza Hut. I've never been to a Pizza Hut where they served alcohol, but that's like...
Yeah, I guess not.
Be like how you're drunk off the pizza. You have beer goggles on.
They might have had beers
goggles.
back in the day.
Maybe back in the day.
Yeah.
I wonder if there was ever a point in America where it was like dirt cheap to get a liquor license. They just wanted everyone to sell beer and shit.
Probably.
Now it's like kind of hard.
It is hard, especially in Pennsylvania. Our laws are really whack with alcohol.
Have you ever been to a KFC buffet?
No.
There was when we used to drive to Worlds when I was a kid down in Florida, and when we would come home, there was a KFC buffet in one of the states.
It just like piles of fried chicken?
Yeah, and like a big container of mashed potatoes and mac and cheese and gravy and coleslaw and anything you could want from fucking
that's pretty
KFC.
lit.
Yeah,
so I would just get, I like their crappy mashed
yeah.
I would just get like 3 scoops of that.
KFC when we were kids was genuinely good, but it's gone downhill.
That's another one that I cannot eat it.
Oh, it's bad, yeah.
Like, their chicken is trash, dude.
I used to love those Famous Bowls when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah.
And I haven't gotten a Famous Bowl.
The thing Jim Gaffigan famously made fun of, I think. Or no, it was Patton Oswalt.
Oh,
had a bit where he's like, you're taking a bowl and you're putting corn, and he just goes through the ingredient, and it's like, and then you're serving it. It's like a trough of food.
It's delicious.
It is delicious. It's all mixed together. But
white people are so silly. They're like, "Oh, I love this thing. I just want to listen to another fat white person make fun."
I know. It's like Patton Oswalt was definitely eating Famous.
Yeah, it's literally what Dave Chappelle says about white people when they get drunk. They just recount and calculate everything they consumed over the course. Like 2 cheeseburgers, a bong hit, 3 slices of pizza.
Yeah,
Dave stuck a carrot in his ass. Like that's exactly how white people are all the time. No matter what.
It's just a list. What is that from his stand-up?
Yeah, it's from like Killing Me Softly.
Killing Me Softly. Yeah.
A friend of mine that's a tattoo artist in Philly posted a picture of these like trading cards he found. He was at like one of his friends' houses that has like an archive of all this cool shit. But he was like holding up a trio or like 4 or 5 different packs of cards. One of them was like a Wild Thornberries trading card back. Another one was like a Goosebumps trading card pack.
Yo, I got some trading cards in that purple box right there to show you. I got Hustler trading cards from the 70s.
We can't look at
They're
those.
They're so sick, dude.
Just show me those.
Yeah.
If you want some of the Hustler trading cards, DM Jake.
They're so fun.
No,
I got them from cleaning out a comic book store with my friend when we were young. Damn. He went out of business, and
what are you gonna do with them?
I like put them in paintings for a while, like collaged them and stuff, but they're just too cool to throw away. Like when you see them,
throw them away.
They're so fucking funny because they're like all the names are obviously fake of these women, and they have their stats on them, which are their breast size, their
stats,
their like weight. It has their stats on the back, and then a little quote. And one of them's name is like Molly, and she's like an Irish girl, and she's like, I'll sleep with anyone except a fucking Englishman who's fighting the IRA because I'm an IRA girl. Like this crazy like Republican Irish Republican Army like chick. And
she's like, all I want to do is play golf and be white in America.
Yeah. It's very sick. They're very cool cards.
Oh my God.
So yeah, they may have cards for it. I didn't mean to interrupt, but yeah, they had like any like thing back then they made cards of.
Yeah.
Like every single thing, every cartoon show.
I'm glad that you reminded me while we were talking about them because I was totally enamored by the thought of Hustler cards and all the different stats they could list for these girls. Anyway, so we had a couple of packs of cards. One of them was like American legends from the colonial era or something. And it was in like a wax pack. Yeah, but I quoted the Dave Chappelle special where he's like, money's like baseball card to slave owners. It's like, God, this is so fucking true.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I love to bring up when anyone starts talking about like how we're banning all this Russian shit right now. It's like literally our money has like Thomas Jefferson on it who like openly raped a slave and had a kid with it and like, but he's on the $5 bill. So that's chill. But we shouldn't drink Russian vodka anymore because it's you know, a little bit concerning.
Yeah, you can't get Russian Standard anywhere. It's like my favorite vodka.
Do they actually make that in Russia or is it just
I'm pretty sure that one's actually made in Russia.
That's funny.
I don't know, but I like it.
What's another good topic? So Wawa's been getting a lot of mainstream coverage lately.
Really?
Yeah.
In what way?
They mentioned it on Joe Rogan a couple weeks ago. Like one of the comedians that like
Wawa, really?
Yeah, he mentioned it. I don't know how he knew about it, but I guess, he tours and shit. But
damn, the Rogan bump.
I know, isn't that why? I mean, you can't really, it's not really a Rogan bump because you can't get it anywhere. Like everyone that's here knows about it. So it's not like we're like, oh, I need to go get a fucking hoagie. Like I'm sick and tired of Wawa. Like it's sick, but it's great. Like it's convenient.
In a pinch, it's fine.
Right. I rarely eat it as an adult anymore, but
it's like getting a Pizza Hut from Target. Like if I'm near a Wawa and I'm really hungry, like I'll grab a
real talk. I probably put the Pizza Hut maybe one tier. Well, maybe they're neck and neck, I think. Yeah.
They're on the same level for me personally. Equal tiers, they're like not that great, but I'll take it. It's cheapish.
When you're a kid, Wawa is like otherworldly good for some reason. I mean, everything's good when you're a kid.
I think when we were younger too, they might have still been like cutting their own meats in the store and stuff.
Yeah, when I was a kid, you could buy deli meat from Wawa.
Yep, they don't do that anymore.
Like we could go and buy sandwiches and then get a pound of ham and
we're so nostalgic about it because it's like growing up, it was a real hoagie,
right?
And now it's not at all. It's just it's no better than Subway. It's just the prepackaged lunch.
And they're always out of like everything I want. They never have chili. Yeah, like all the stuff that's like kind of could be. There's like several things on the menu have the room to be good, but they're just bad.
I do like that Thanksgiving sandwich, the gobbler.
No, the turkey on that's so bad. And it's trying to be the Capriati sandwich, and the Capriati sandwich is delicious. Do you ever go have that?
No, I haven't.
I've never had a
It's funny we're talking about hoagies. I've been on a journey recently. My girlfriend recommended Jersey Mike's to me. Yeah. And I was like, you're out of your mind. I grew up working at Subway, okay? So I just assumed all these sandwich shops are just Subway ripoffs. And
no, Jersey Mike's is different.
Jersey Mike's is truly a sub above. That's their slogan. Shit is so fucking
I've been eating Jersey Mike's for probably like 10 years now because I had them out in Phoenix. And I was like, what is this place? It's like a chain.
I'm pissed it took me this long, dude.
It's new to our area in the Mid-Atlantic.
Yeah, well, there's one down the street.
It's only within the last 4 or 5 years, and they're rapidly expanding. They must have got investors or something.
I started maybe 5 weeks ago, and let's just say I've eaten enough to get rewards points to get a free hoagie already.
Damn.
Like, that's how many hoagies I've eaten. Oh, I just keep eating club subs.
Balling out till you fall out over there. Fuck it, we ball at Jersey Mike's. We need to do a hoagie show now that you're mentioning this.
I know.
I'm just going to eat the same hoagie. I'll eat pork deli meat for you. If we have a different pork, you will.
Well, there's a Capriati's nearby too. So that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
So I never ate Capriati's when I was a kid because it was like kind of expensive compared to Wawa. Like it was maybe $3 or $4 more a sandwich. And that like really fucking mattered to my family, saving that extra $6 or $7 for dinner. But when I moved out to work at YoYo Factory, like they opened a Capriati's down the street from us. And Hans went there after work one day and he's like, I got the best fucking sandwich from this place called Capriati's. It's got turkey, stuffing, and cranberry sauce on it. It's out of this fucking world. And then Ben is like, did you just list a sandwich that has stuffing on it? You listed a sandwich that has bread and more bread on it? Like, what is your problem? Like, why would you eat this? And then he's like, it's so good. And I walk into his office and I'm like, you got the name of that sandwich shop wrong. That's only in Delaware. And he's like, yeah, it says that on the menu. And he holds the menu up and it's like a Delaware favorite on the menu. And I'm like, why the fuck is this open down here?
Damn.
And we like went over there for lunch the next day or whatever. And the guy who owned it was just from this area and he loved it so much he franchised one of the locations out there.
I did not realize they're a Delaware thing. And they just opened here.
They franchised a location in Vegas too, but it was like genuinely good and like they were priced like on the East Coast. Like everything on the East Coast was still cheaper at the time than on the West Coast. And like everything was just way cheaper to eat there. Like a foot-long sandwich was like $6 or $7 at the time. And everywhere else it was like $9, $10 already. Like inflation had kind of already hit because people had money in Phoenix. And yeah, it was just wild hearing about it. But I used to get Bobby's all the time there. Every sandwich there is really good. They have one that's like Reuben, but with
that's what I want. Like I love like corned beef and shit like that. That's my favorite.
They do a lot of great sandwiches. Yeah.
All right, I'll try that next. So, anyways, I've been on this Jersey Mike's kick. So I tried Primo Hoagies too. Primo Hoagies not nearly as good as Jersey Mike's.
No, but it is okay.
It's okay.
It's good for a chain.
Yeah.
Jersey Mike's is damn near S tier though, I feel like, especially for a chain.
It's
people don't believe you. Even the employees, like the employees are like Chick-fil-A most of the time. I've been to one or two. They're cutting the meats.
They're back there chopping the cheesesteak on the flat top. Like I got a cheesesteak from there the other night. It was great.
The pickles are thick. They're opaque. They don't have translucent pickles. Not a shitty brine.
No, just the fact that they cut the meats.
They got the pepper jelly, not jelly. The pepper
relish.
Yeah, the relish. Thank you.
Hell yeah, the
pepper relish. All the bread tastes fresh.
It is. just a great sandwich. I'll
great.
eat it any day of the week. So, yeah, better than Wawa.
Oh my gosh, it's
for
way
sure.
better than Wawa. I'm sorry,
I'm excited to try Capriati's.
It's a different sandwich. Yeah, when I first went, I was like, why are they cut? Like, I was kind of shook that they were just cutting it like that. You know what I mean? I was like, I wonder how many of these employees ever slip and cut themselves on the deli slice. I feel like it's kind of hard to cut yourself on the deli slicer, though. But yeah, I don't know. Wawa food's not overrated, but it hits different. And now I also feel like when I was a kid, the service was just a lot better. I don't know why. Yeah. Maybe they
ran it more like a deli. Now it's run by like a super mega chain that it is. Like everyone's just miserable there. It's
not like under new ownership or anything, but yeah, you're right. Like everyone's just miserable there. And I don't know.
They got too big. Man.
Yeah, they kind of used to pay more, I feel like, than maybe not. I don't know.
They still pay decent. They start at 15, I think, which for around here is very good.
Oh yeah, it's great for anywhere. I feel like for it to start out, you know what I mean.
And I know a girl I grew up with moved to Philly after high school and managed a Wawa in Philly and made like 80 grand a year. Like she made good money.
Yeah, I'm sure
Wawa, enough to buy a house.
Yeah, that's sick.
So her and her husband both managed different Wawas, and
clear
together,
$150K
they bought a house in Philadelphia.
Yeah,
so it's
insane.
Like, it's insane. But they pay good enough. I mean, in management at least.
Yeah, I feel like anywhere in management pays well. But do you remember? So many people that we know have worked as gas station attendants in Wawa, like in Jersey and stuff, like CJ and
really?
Eddie. And
I didn't know that.
It's
I
such
hate that you can't pump
job.
Your own gas in Jersey.
You don't have. I mean, you could just do it, and no one's really gonna like.
Really?
I do it all the time, and no one says anything. Like as long as you know what you got to do or whatever. I forget what the Wawa thing. I think you just have to like flip the thing up or something, and then press 0 on the amount to do a card. Like and then whatever the amount, it'll just. You know what I mean? Like
interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like they'd get really mad at you, but
it's technically illegal, and like the employees can get in a lot of trouble because the whole reason that they do it is so it prevents people from technically like exploding, spontaneously combusting.
I guess it makes sense. It just seems like the guys doing it aren't necessarily being any more cautious.
They don't make you turn your car off. I always leave my car on. That in itself like made me into an awful habit person with leaving my car on, putting gas in it, because they never made me turn it off. You're not
supposed to do that, are you?
Oh no! Have you ever seen the videos of someone who leaves their car on while they're pumping gas?
Why do you do it then?
Because I
just don't care.
Yeah, because it's hot in the summer, cold in the winter. Here on the East Coast, you only have a good 2-week interval where you can safely
almost there.
Turn your car off while you're pumping gas.
Yeah.
But if you have your car on and the current of electricity still running through it, and then you go to
static electricity.
Yeah, it creates static electricity. Yeah, and then if there's gas fumes making their way out from your gas pump, there's a possibility. Jesus. Yeah, it's very low that it happens.
Yeah, that never happens.
Yeah, the videos are wild. Have you ever watched one of those videos?
No, I haven't.
Because it looks like nothing happens. Like it is someone getting in and out of their car, but if you walk in and out of the house, like the static electricity.
Up. No,
it is. Everything starts catching on fire and shit, and it's like, what the fuck's going on?
That's crazy.
Yeah. Have you ever seen any Faces of Death videos?
When you were a kid. I've seen them, yeah.
My dad let me rent one of those when I was a kid for some reason.
I saw horrible shit as a kid. I saw one of the worst things I saw early on was Nick Berg beheading, the guy who was like a photojournalist. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that
just
too.
sawing his head off. Was
that on Rotten.com?
Yeah, Rotten.com. So Rotten.com really fucked me bad.
It's trauma bonding, right?
Yeah.
Fucked me up bad. No, Rotten.com was great when we were kids.
It was great. I still to this day have a morbid fascination with stuff like that. And
I remember
I'll seek out
because everyone when we were kids was always talk about like how Tupac was still alive and shit.
Yeah.
But you could look at the Tupac autopsy photos
where
on
his head's has stitches.
Yeah, and I'm like, there's no way you can Photoshop this, guys. Trust me. Like, this is real. Tupac is dead.
Right. Yeah, I forgot about that one. That one was crazy.
Oh, yeah, we should definitely do some tier lists of definitely yo-yo topics. We could do so many yo-yo topic tier lists.
But fast food would just be fun too.
Yeah.
Just chain restaurant.
I know hella people have done it, but it'd just be cool to do.
Why not?
Yeah, talk about it. Yeah. Have you ever heard of a banana spider?
Yes, they're huge, right?
I don't know how big they are. I didn't actually Google how big they are.
Enormous, dude.
They kill you. Let me Google it.
Oh,
We'll just
really?
read it off. Damn, I should have.
Maybe it was a different type of spider you were thinking of.
No, here it is. All right.
This doesn't look real, I'll say. Daily Mirror, but it is very funny. You can read the headline.
No, let me. I would need to find an actual. Oh no! Here's a BBC article. Okay, so it's real.
Wow.
So these spiders, these banana spiders, they bite you, and then I guess if you're a man, I don't know what it would do if you're a woman. What do you think it would do if you're a woman?
Brazilian wandering spiders can cause a man
to have an extremely painful erection that lasts for 4 hours, and then you die. You just die with the hardest dick you've ever had in your life.
Oh, that's
what an awful way to go.
A painful erection just sounds terrible too. Like one that hurts really bad.
Yeah, I've never taken a Viagra or anything like that in
my
life.
haven't.
I've never had the need to, but I'm like kind of afraid that if I did, like I definitely would have an erection lasting longer than 4 hours.
Right.
Or like, I don't know, it would give me a heart attack or something, because it increases your blood flow like throughout your body.
It seems
so like just like everything becomes like a little bit
if you
engorged.
Absolutely need it, yeah, go ahead.
Got fucking Owen Wilson nose while you're trying to fuck your life. Everything's just a little bit inflamed.
Right.
You look like Dan Dietz. You just got rosy ass cheeks all the time. But only when I take a dick pill.
Aw.
He came to the booth at this thing I'm doing for Andre with Curdy, and like he married a girl from Brazil, like an au pair. These girls from Brazil come here and then are an au pair for like a rich family, and then they get like a free place to live and they make a little money, and then they can marry a guy like Dan. But she was like, they had a kendama player at the booth who was being really obnoxious and just like putting kendamas in people's hands as they were walking by. Like, you try a kendama. Like, you try a kendama. Yeah, it was really obnoxious and too much. He wasn't really doing much like in terms. He was selling like things here and there, but it's like doing more harm than good when you're like scaring a dozen people away and then enticing one person versus like if you entice the 5 people that actually care in the meantime. But he like gave Dan a kendama, and like Dan knew a couple kendama tricks. I was like busy checking someone out or whatever, but I like heard him on the mic, and he's like, "This guy's going insane. He knows the earth turn, and he can do big cup, little cup, bottom cup. Oh my gosh! And what about yo-yo? Can you do any yo-yo tricks?" And Curdy didn't see him at the time because Curdy was like not embarrassed by it, but it's like, okay, like this guy's gonna do his thing. Like I'm just gonna be over here teaching someone how to yo-yo or whatever. Yeah. And then when he turned around, it was Dan Dietz, and he's like, "Oh shit, look who it is!" And it's fucking Dan Dietz over there, like yo-yoing for everyone. But he's like hamming it up, like putting it on a show, doing like circular Eli hops and shit. It was mad funny because it was just like obviously the guy had no clue who he was, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna take this opportunity to show off. Like this guy doesn't know who I am." And then as soon as he saw us, he was like, "Oh, hey guys, what's up?" Very funny. Yeah. A
little embarrassing for old Dan, but
no, Dan's great. I love Dan.
I don't know him.
A few years ago, he sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. No, yeah, he was really young when you were in the scene. One year he went to that New York contest when we were younger. Remember that contest Pat
2007 or 8?
He went in 2008. It was either 2008 or 9. It might have been 2009 because I didn't go that year. And I think that was the year. It was like the week before Worlds.
Right.
But he went. And he was yo-yoing on stage, and he has like his first trick for a while was like a drop suicide green triangle, where like he does a green triangle and hangs over his arm, and then he catches the suicide below it. And he did that on stage and dropped it and got into a knot. And then instead of just being like, "Oh, I'm gonna move on," or taking the L and accepting it, he was like, "Oh, I think you like started the music in the wrong place. Like, can you start it again? Do you remember this?"
Oh no, that's horrible.
So and Pat's like, "All right, man. Like, are you sure?" Like, and then he like they hired like a DJ who works at like the clubs in New York. So he's not starting the music in the wrong place type shit. He might have been like playing some background music and then scratched it in like and counted in like 3, 2, 1, go, and then the song started, but like whatever. And then Dan was like, oh, dude, it was just weird. Like, and then they were like, all right, like, we'll just start it the regular way then. Like, we'll do a fancy lead in. Like, we'll just start it in regular. And he's like, all right, 3, 2, like, not 3, 2, 1. He's like, all right, everyone, Dan Dietz. And they play the music. Same thing happens again. Literally gets a nod on the same trick. I didn't believe John Rob when he told me this, but then when he showed me the video again, I was like, wow, this is wild. And then he fucks up again. He gets a knot, and then the yo-yo shoots back up, and he's like, "Oh, you guys messed up my music again. Like you played in the wrong place."
No.
Yeah, and
second time.
Pat was like, "Are you serious?" And he's like, "Yo, Dan, like we're not doing this again. Like this is the last time." And then he like joked around. He's like, "You need a coffee? You need a cappuccino? Like what do you need? Like, are you sure? Like you're good? Like this is the last time we can do it? All right, cool." And then apparently he made it past that trick, but he still fucked up, and then he made it to finals and he ended up getting like 3rd. But like people were pissed off because of that, because like you shouldn't have even final to begin with, you know what
that's
I mean?
Cheating.
Yeah. But a few years ago he was selling some Renegades on the BST, and this is before the price of yo-yos went up. And he was trying to sell them for like 30 a piece, and I was like, I'll give you 20 a piece for these shipped. And he was like, oh, I really need to get 30 for him, or want to get 30. I forget exactly what he said, but I was like, all right, man. Well, like when you want me that $40, you let me know how I can send it to you. And then an hour later, he messaged me back like, yeah, you can send it to my PayPal.
Yeah.
It's like, you motherfucker. Like,
yeah.
You know, wait for these Renegades. At the time, no one was buying yo-yos. You know
right.
what I mean? It was a steal, but now they probably would be like $50 a piece. Like, that's wild to me.
Yeah.
That was a great segment last time on the...
Yeah.
Where you were looking up old... That speeder today I sent you was wild,
and my
huh?
Lynn Fury came.
Oh, yeah. Good lead-in.
The speeder is on the topic list. I want to talk about those all over print yo-yo jams, but yeah, I got this Sweetland Fury off eBay.
They did a real tree camo one year.
They did. Yeah, yo-yo jam would cover the whole yo-yo with some sort of plastic film. And Tyler sent me a sweet speeder that's just an American flag all over the whole thing.
Have you ever seen those people on YouTube that like spray paint on the surface of water and then dip shit in it? And
yeah.
it's the same thing, yeah.
Okay.
But like it's a plasticky film that you lay on the surface of water and then you can dip shit in it.
You can do it on anything. That out.
You can do it on your dunks in your backyard, dude. You can order all the shit to do it, like literally.
But not like a beautiful American flag.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you could get all over print of your face and send it to them, and they can print it out like whatever you want on the sheet of plastic and get it sent to the crib. It just as soon as you ding it, it starts chipping off.
Right.
Back in the day, people kind of cared about that shit. That's why. Do you remember the Peak when it came out? People didn't want to buy the Peak because it was painted.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, it's gonna get damaged. Like, who wants the yo-yo like that? And then it took like that was the same year that they dropped the Peak, the 401k. And I want to say 1 or 2 was like Christmas 2005. Was that the same year the Pyro came out too? The Peak Pyro. And,
I think so.
And I think Kyle Weems dropped a yo-yo or something that Christmas too.
I might as well tell on record the biggest L I ever took in yo-yoing. Besides getting second in the world, that's a pretty big L. But this was I had my mom get me a painted Peak for Christmas.
Oh, I remember this story now. Fuck.
First run, Yo-Yo Nation. One of 50 pieces. Beautiful piece of art. No, it was
more than that. I think it was
there
like
were not many. Maybe 100.
Maybe 150.
There were not many. And I got it, and I loved it because it was so cool. The finish was like an eggshell.
Yeah.
But it wobbled a good bit, like a fair amount. In hindsight,
even for the time?
For the time. In hindsight, who gives a shit? It's a beautiful piece of art. Just, enjoy it.
You were 14 at the time,
but I was
right?
probably 13.
13. So you're not thinking about it like, oh, this is a piece of art. It can have imperfections.
Yeah, because they would advertise shit as smooth back then, too. And it would show up, and it would not be fucking smooth. And as a little nerdy autistic kid, I was like, this is not okay. So I hit up Chris. Of my own accord, I just emailed Chris and was like, it's kind of wobbly. Can you help me out anyway? And he's like, sure, you're going to be at Worlds 05. Come find me and I'll give you a trade you can't refuse. So I went and found him and he's like, here, I got the new Boyd Seth Bear versus Man. It's not even out yet. I'll give you 2 of them. 2 first round Bear versus Man he's like, I just want the Peak. I know it wobbles, but I want one because I didn't get to keep one for myself.
Was it the gray-green splash?
Yes, the gray, dark gray, like gunmetal with dark green. Yeah. Very sick. And they were glass smooth.
Great
like they
color,
were
right?
really,
Those yo-yos were
they
perfect,
changed.
yeah.
They just weren't painted. It was just the paint making it wobbly. It's like
Yeah.
understandable. But I was, a picky kid, so I traded it back to him. So I hope he still has it, and I hope Chris enjoys that peak, or someone who has it enjoys it. But I certainly regret getting rid of that, because that would be like a crown jewel in my collection now, just because of the story and how unique of a yo-yo that was.
On one of Chris's whirlwind relationships that got to like the level of him proposing to the girl, and like it was a girl who actually got Caribou Lodge to like the next level of his business. Like it took him from like a kind of a side project business and him having trouble getting to the next level to like she really helped him get to that next level in a lot of the ways. But when things didn't work out, like she waited probably 2.5, 3 years or something. But like after 2.5, 3 years, she went back and sold like all of her Caribou Lodge yo-yos she gave him. Because at the time she was like keeping one of each one or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she sold like 25, 30 yo-yos all on eBay. And at the time they were just worth like, that was when Caribou Lodge was like going for a mint, and like, everything went for absurd amounts of money. Yeah. It was crazy. It was cringe. I didn't want to say cringe. It was, as like someone else who's very sensitive and goes through shit in relationships, like reading Chris like going through that on Beat Out is just like, oh man, like that sucks. Like that sucks to have to watch, you know what I mean? Because I'm sure he has the notification set on eBay, like anytime a Caribou Lodge yo-yo goes up for sale, like notify me so that if I want to bid on it, I can. And then he sees like his ex post fucking 30 of them, and it's like, oh cool.
Damn.
And then like
brutal, yeah.
your ex that you like don't necessarily ever want to like help out again, and it's not like you want it to see an ex fail or whatever, but it's like you don't want to indirectly give them like $5 or $6 grand. Like
right.
That when she like, it wasn't like the greatest of endings, if I remember right or whatever. It was just, it's a mess, as relationships often are when they end. But anyway, so you've been buying a lot of yo-yos on eBay recently. Do you have your Jason Tracy yo-yo over there too? I met Jason Tracy at a
which is amazing.
BLC.
This just came up in conversation in that
have you opened it and played with it yet?
No, not yet.
You don't have
I just like to look at it.
Yeah,
first,
it's cool.
But I will play with it. This came up in conversation on Doc Pop's podcast, that one where he was talking to the guy who invented corkscrew and did the Fiend tour.
What's his name? Jorge? Not Jorge.
Tao. So they mentioned how Jason Tracy was selling these. Yeah, the logos is so neat. And Doc Pop was like, yeah, the Cosmic Otter. Jason Tracy had a bunch of those on tour. He was selling them. And like it was just neat that I had other BC yo-yos growing up. And it's neat that they actually had him on the team and gave him a signature like wooden yo-yo.
I think it was a way for him to make money on the Fiend tour. Did they tell that story on the podcast?
Not in detail, but
I don't know if this is correct or not. I think Jason may have told me, but like, yeah, I think it's like another BC yo-yo that they just painted with like a custom paint
it's not a special model. It's just a special edition. Yeah.
But yeah, I think he got like 100 of them or whatever. And then when they were on the Warped Tour, like he could sell them like at the stops or whatever to make some extra money. I don't know.
And I think that paint job is also inspired by old Duncans that were painted that way.
Yeah, but it had like a stripe normally.
Yeah. But I just like.
I've never seen one other than this painted in the Gap. I'm sure they exist, but
I like the Gap painting. I like the logo.
Yeah, I really want to start. Like, I wish more people liked yo-yo clothing or would be interested in it, because I would love to do like old yo-yo graphics, like all the old Duncan graphics from like the 50s and 60s and 70s, because it's all one color shit that you could put on a black or white t-shirt. It would look great.
Try.
Yeah, maybe I will.
A lot of work, but
it's not that much.
I think it would. They would sell, I think. Cosmic fucking Otter.
It's a great name too. It's just like I'm always so curious about how yo-yos like that happen. Not specifically the Cosmic Otter, but like just yo-yos with like a great name, great artwork, great color. Like, because Jason isn't like, he didn't go on.
He seemed like
he's a successful dude, but I think he just does sales or something.
Yeah.
What was that?
But in yo-yoing, even I don't know exactly what he invented.
People revere him, yeah.
But he's like just a cult legend, kind of. He was just I think he was just one of those guys that was really cool. That's just always how it came across.
He's a good
to
hang,
me.
yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I think he was like kind of overweight when he was younger. Maybe that was the case. He like had a.
Yeah, I don't.
It was like, did you remember Cappy when we were younger?
Yeah.
Like just how crazy and funny and awesome Cappy was. It's like a defense mechanism when you're like really heavy, where it's like, oh, I gotta be funny because people will not want to hang out with me.
Cappy's another like underground legend who just
doesn't really. Cappy really isn't. Back in the day, he was very mainstream yo-yo. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. What were you saying?
I'm just saying he's someone people don't think about name drop often, but.
Yeah, he used to come to a lot of West Coast contests when I was a kid.
Somewhat responsible for Spin Doctors, right?
Yes. Yeah. He started Spin Docs.
Yeah, which is insane.
And then back in the day, he used to have a site called the String Cemetery. Did you ever hear about this?
Yes, I did. I never went on it, though.
I used to try to find it on the Wayback Machine, but I think Dave was really good at scrubbing it because I couldn't really find any snapshots of the site. But like, it was just funny. It's basically like the unpopular yo-yo opinions, but like Dave was like authoring every post and being like Joel Zink sucks. This is why he shouldn't have won Worlds, or he shouldn't have won Nationals, like shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was mainly because Hans's dad back in the day was doing really crazy shit. Yeah. Like Hans's dad owned Pro-Yo,
right,
and he would do things like send cease and desists to people who posted.
Julian Van Den Elzen, right?
Tom Van Den Elzen.
Tom Van Den Elzen.
He would send like cease and desists to kids online that were posting directions for how to mod his yo-yos, or like, here's how you can make like your own brake pads at home. Like you just buy a cork with adhesive on the back and cut it around it. And he would like literally send them like a legal notification in the mail to a child.
It's insane.
I mean, I don't know if it was him directly. Like what happens in those situations a lot with really bigger companies that have like a lot of employees and shit, they just have a law firm on retainer. Right. And he may have just been sending cease and desist to other companies that were really infringing on patents. And then the lawyers like went above and beyond and like went and got, went and digitally looked at everything that was mentioning Pro-Yo, was like, oh, this is infringing. Like, let's.
Yeah. Just doing their job.
Yeah. Back in the day when we were kids, I don't know if you remember, but Duncan, the law firm that represents Duncan and Flambeau, sent like Sebastian Brock and a bunch of people cease and desists that mentioned trademark terms on their websites that they owned. Like if you had a Geosites website that mentioned like Butterfly Yo-Yo, that's a trademark by Duncan Yo-Yo.
Sebastian got hit with one?
Yeah, with a cease and desist. It's not like he was really going to get sued. It's just he ignored it, and that's all you have to do. But it's like the law firm that Duncan has retained being like, oh, like you have a trademark term on your website that looks like you're monetizing somehow because there's advertisements on it, you know what I mean? But Sebastian isn't making money off it. It was literally a website for like a college class that he made.
Yeah. That's very funny.
Yeah. Shout out to Duncan and Yo-Yo Factory back in the day. Anyway.
There's a new hajime trick on Instagram. Did you see that?
I did not see the AAA trick.
He posts a AAA trick and then he posts a solo ham trick.
Let's watch him real quick. I'll overlay him in the video.
Yeah.
Hey Siri, remind me to overlay the hajime new tricks from Instagram in the pod with Jake. Hey, look at this. Wow.
Nice. There you go.
She spelled Hajime's name right. Wow.
Yeah. The solo ham's the really cool part, but this shit's cool too.
I love that his AAA
is fun.
His AAA is just a little more simplistic.
This is sick though. It's all one string.
Jesus, that's insane.
He's not doing 2 strings anymore.
Wow.
Look at that. And then he just catches the one yo-yo. And then, so less string to deal with, which I think is a huge innovation.
Yeah. That's crazy. People have been doing those kind of restarts for a long time.
Right. But he doesn't have to worry about maintaining a string on his shoulder the whole time. He can just.
Yeah. I just wonder how much spin you can actually generate off one of those pools
dude,
to do one trick. Not the whole point to do. I mean,
yeah.
It's all. I'm thinking about it from like a competitive aspect because it is a very cool. Just like people have been doing that restart for a long time, but it is cool. I feel like people always look at hajime from the competitive aspect, and it's like,
right?
Oh, it's cool. We need one less
maybe
string,
he won't
like,
compete that way, but I just thought it was pretty.
Solo ham. I don't think is ever gonna be able to pick up enough points to compete with just single yo-yo off string.
Right. Unfortunately.
Yeah. Unless what I was saying about his AAA tricks and the simple style of it, because like they're not simple tricks, like they're all by far the most difficult AAA tricks that have been ever created. Not ever. Like there's a myriad of different tricks throughout history that have varying degrees of difficulty. But like he is inspired by Hank a lot. Where like Hank keeps the yo-yos continuously moving, and like back in the day, that's what everyone used to call real AAA or like true AAA,
right?
Because like there was a lot of players that used to just like
we're doing 1A with a second
yo-yo get into a really complicated mount, and then like the one yo-yo would be static, and then you're just doing a really complicated trick with the other yo-yo, and
right.
So it's cool to see him like adopting that old school flow, but like with current meta and like advancing the meta and innovating. And I don't even want to call it old school flow because a lot of people in recent history have been saying that about me. Like they'll be like, oh, like you have a really like old school flow and it's so cool. And it's like, like just because something is timeless or like is a good trick now and a good trick forever, like a lot of those tricks.
No, trust me, I get the old school flow all the time too.
Yeah, but it's the same thing. Like I'll watch a lot of your old tricks, and like I was a hater back in the day, and I'd be like, "This is kind of simple. Like Jake could do harder tricks." And now I look at him like, "Yo, this is if someone did this now, this would be an amazing trick." Right?
Again, that like
the whole thing is incredible. Yeah,
and the Hank reference is very true, and that's why I like his 3A so much. Is because I always liked Hank's 3A. Yeah, and it's so very clearly. And it is interesting. He took Hank's crown.
I don't know if I've ever used this analogy with you before, and I always say it to people who don't have any sort of background in art history. But if you ever look at an artist's history from like when they first start and they're like learning how to do like realism and like just trying to copy like one for one shit, and they're like getting their skills together and they're like eventually finding their own style and like developing that, and like by the end of their life like they're doing the simplest shit, and people might think it's because like they're inhibited by their movement because they're getting old, but it's actually because they're able to get their message across with less emphasis, you know what I mean? And I feel like
it's like Picasso.
And he's doing that already. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, you're fucking 18 years old and you're like at a master class.
That's a great.
Picasso is a great parable though, just because like, he has all those one-line drawings that he did, and like
at the very end, he was just doing like blocks of color too.
Yeah, like toward the end, So, but he was able to convey the same feeling and message. And
for anyone who only knows Picasso's like
Cubism,
just Google like early Picasso and see that he did just beautiful ass portraits and
like Michelangelo type shit, like Victorian era style paintings.
So he got to Cubism. People love to shit on it. It's like I could do. It's like he got there through a lot of other work.
I don't know what the hell that was.
Ghost or cat, something.
Ghost
cats.
Dude,
he got that
through a lot of work though, and
very fun to watch.
Kind of similar with Hajime in a way, like not like his tricks have been. He's always been like his tricks. Like there's been years where he just was insanely difficult. You know what I mean? The level of tricks that he was doing, and now it's like he's keeping it a little more simplistic, but like it's still very original and like innovative and pushing it in a different direction creatively. It's super dope. I'm gonna get another beer real quick.
Oh yeah, go for it. While we're on, it's still recording, right? Yeah. While we're on yo-yoing, I want to take this time to plug the Yo-Yo Expert Edition Vino wine colored dunk rebound. It's a polished dark red. It's all I've been using lately. It's so nice. So beautiful. Exclusive to Yo-Yo Expert. So if you want one, head over there and check one out, please. This is my first time selling dunks to retailers, so I'm trying really hard to do my due diligence and help.
Plug all the other retailers they're at. Then don't just
they're also at.
Sorry, I didn't
good idea.
Sorry, I apologize.
They're
for
also
my
at
tone.
YoYo Sam.
Everyone hates how much I
yoyosam.com.
interrupt you in the
No,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry, this blanket's annoying. Yo-Yo Sam, but my mom made this blanket.
Aw.
It's important to me. Yo-Yo Sam. Yeah, it's like my mom said. I love my yoyosam.com has like all the out of stock colors for my website. Like,
so they got a bunch of colors?
They got like olive, orange.
So technically they have a lot of exclusive colors too now, right? Or
yeah, pretty much.
Did Taka and Rewind pick some up? Or
Taka picked up just orange and they got an exclusive flux colorway. So rewind.com if you want the pink and black flux colorway. You gotta order it from Japan. Sorry, it's
Rewind YoYo. I don't know the actual
Rewind
URL,
yoyo.jp or something. Just, you can find it. They're selling fine over there though. Like they don't even. I mean, of course I'll plug them. I think they're fine over there. But
yeah.
Yo-Yo Sam and Yo-Yo Expert,
They love me out there in Japan. What's up, Mom?
Yeah. Dude, that guy sent me pictures of his case today. This guy, I wish I knew his name, who collects dunks in Japan, sent me a beautiful photos of his. I shared one of them on my Instagram, just like a case full of dunks. It's just really neat to see.
That's awesome. When I was at the thrift store the other day, I found a really nice aluminum case with dividers that I almost bought to put foam in. And I'm like, I really regret not getting it now because I should have gotten it. And it would have been, because I have just a...
For future reference, if you see one, just grab it. I'll take it. If you don't want
I will buy it for you. No, I thought you're right.
I've been looking for one. Like, I want to replicate as close as possible the one I have, though.
Oh, yeah?
So, like, that nice, like silver... aluminum. I mean, it doesn't really matter, I guess. But
it's all, I mean, you can buy those offline. I have all the other tools to make it happen. Like I can.
Okay.
I have the carving knife to cut the foam. I have the star punch to cut out holes.
Okay.
I know where to order foam from. It's not as nice as the old Infinite Illusions foam. I need to source some it's just high. It's called high density foam, but it just needs to be like the highest density possible. Greg's almost felt like fucking styrofoam.
Yeah,
it was so
crunchy.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if he sprayed it with starch or something weird.
Yeah,
I wouldn't surprise
might have done
me.
like some kind of tricky
fucking
thing.
Greg move. Have you ever watched one of his candy videos on it?
Oh yeah, dude.
Watch this man finger a banana before. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
totally forgot to set a timer for the hour, but it's all good.
That's okay.
Whatever. Yeah.
The only other topic I have that I don't know if we want to save this for another episode. Maybe we should. I want to just talk about at some point our 5 a.m. Everyone always says to you and I like, oh, you guys are really influential on modern 5A, but like what influenced us to do 5A?
Yeah, we could close it out with that because we're at about an hour right now. Let me actually cut the clip real quick and then restart it.
Or we could just tease it. Save it for a different.
No, we can. I mean, we can talk about it again in another podcast.
That's true.
Because we're not. I don't really see us digressing for an hour and a half about 5A influences. But I mean, obviously, our first 5A influence, I think, was probably not you because yours was more internet based, but probably AJ. Serious 5A influence. Like once you see Steve play 5A, and as a kid, you, like me, I feel like we're into punk rock and counterculture and just shit that wasn't the regular stuff that everyone else was into, especially in yo-yo, because there's a strong contingency of everyone doing the same thing. Everyone's using techno. Everyone is wearing the same shit. Everyone kind of looks the same. So you want to separate yourself, and Steve is such an outlier in that way that's what you're attracted to.
Steve Brown, AJ Kirk, for anyone who doesn't know, that's who we're talking about.
Yeah,
he was he from Pennsylvania originally, or then moved
AJ?
to Delaware? Yeah,
maybe, I forget, but yeah, surprisingly grew up literally in the same town as me when I was a kid, in Newcastle, which is so funny because we never hung out until kind of later in life. But
yeah, AJ for me. Steve initially, when I saw the Duncan video, I always talk about, but then AJ in person when I went to PA States 2004 or 5, right before he got on Yo-Yo Jam and stuff. Just seeing someone in person who was not Steve Brown, like someone just
when
more
was this you said? PA State's 05?
I think 05, so it was before Worlds 05
Yeah.
when he did really well and got on Yo-Yo Jam. He won PA State's 05 Y division with 5A.
That's right.
And I was like, this guy's awesome. Like, he was using cool music.
Was he cool to you when you were then that age?
I
Like,
didn't
was he a
meet
cool
him
person?
at that contest, but he seemed really nice.
Yeah.
I was not social when I was that age. I was very scared to talk to anyone, but I would like hang around and see that he was being nice. I knew he was a nice guy.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
And I met him shortly after. I probably met him at Worlds that year. And then, yeah, very nice dude.
For sure.
So that was cool to see someone who was just like sort of on our level that we could aspire to be as good as.
Yeah, seeing someone who comes from relatively the same place you come from doing. That's why representation matters. Everyone loves to like shit on Marvel and all these other brands for like, oh, we made Buzz Lightyear black or whatever. You know what I mean? And it's like, but that matters. Like, it matters to kids. And I always point that out to yo-yo websites whenever I meet people who own stores and like have the ability to like put people on in yo-yo and like whoever they promote. I'm like, look at like yo-yo players of color. Like, they play like people who look like them. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of black players play like Harold, and it's because they grow up watching Harold, or they play like Markmon because they grow up watching Markmon. And it's like not some crazy eugenics thing. It's not, it's just what it is. Like, that you're attracted to like what you look like, and they are inspired by white players too, but it's just like they're drawn to who they look like because that's what inspires them and that's what makes them feel comfortable. And like,
yeah, that's fascinating.
Yeah, it's interesting to view.
Definitely.
No one ever notices it, but when I start to point it out in videos and stuff, or
that's true.
Yeah, like it really starts standing out when you look at certain elements and like, but it's cool to see, you know what I mean? And I think it's just case in point, the representation matters. And like, that's why we need to, I always try to do that when I'm like picking kids out for my team, or like I'm like giving props to people, you know what I mean? I'm trying to like make sure it's not always just to like the same person who's going to continuously get props no matter what, you know what I mean? Cause like, yeah. Anyway,
other internet influences, big time, Andrew Lin.
Oh yeah. Those
like
5A,
those 5A
forever, is that
pure
what they were called? Pure 5A, that's right.
Pure 5A?
Pure 5A, yeah. Or 5A, pure freehand.
Pure freehand, yes. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
They're on Vimeo on the Glass Labs channel.
Such good videos.
Check these out, dude. Like, they were so influential and big, and everyone talked about them when we were young, and now no one, but they hold up, dude. Like, the tricks in those.
Now everyone likes to like put out their content very quickly on Instagram, but back in the day it was you'd save up your content and then put out a handful of videos a year, or one per year. The good players, the best players, only did one a year. Mikhail,
the Brazilian
the
players,
Andrew Lims. Brazilian players would have the most output, honestly, because they would constantly get together as a team.
You're
and,
right.
Like,
Whip cranked him out some tricks by Whip. Remember that video? Holy shit.
I used to have the whole Brazilian discography, or everything that I could, because I forget what yo-yo website, but they basically just had like an open server that you could get a free website and free server space on, and you could upload videos to host there and stuff. And like, I would just constantly find indexes and download everything that I could. And like, I probably had 500-600 videos at some point from players all over the world, Chinese players. There used to be this Chinese player back in the day that could like emulate Mickey perfectly, like in 2005, like just wild shit. Like, but yeah,
so interesting.
Andrew Lim was so good, and like I was surprised when I was a kid that he wasn't world champion. Like, that always kind of bummed me out.
He got third or fourth one year
in 2005. He got third, and then he got fourth and fifth, I think, the other years. But people weren't sacrificing their styles, their aesthetic to win back in the day. You know what I mean? Like, people refuse to do that now. Like, people will look at the spreadsheet and be like, "Oh, I'm only 3 points away from first place. All I got to do is one more combo. Like, I'm in there." But like, back in the day, people just would like try their best and hope for the best.
It was so different. But he invented angel wings, which is the trick where the counterweight's going.
I didn't know that. Wow.
The yo-yo's going
Did he really? Are you sure?
100%.
Wow.
Yep.
Who would you hear that from, or how do you know
he
that?
premiered it in that video with a little name under it, angel, like in part 3, I think, or part 2.
I mean, it's definitely a poi trick or a 2A trick too, right? But like, it's not.
But I mean, I'm quite certain.
He translated it to 5A.
He's the one
That's sick. Yeah.
Because Raphael did spinner, which is just around your finger, both going the same way. And then he's the one who took it and made them going the opposite way, counterweight and yo-yo. Raphael is another one. The first world's freestyle I ever saw was 2003 5A world champion Raphael. Like that freestyle where he won. Really good. He invented like helicopter, which is super.
Even the mediocre 5A freestyles back in the day used to be so good. Like the whole, if you finaled at Worlds, it was a movie.
Terry,
you know
Makoto,
I mean? All
Raphael.
those. Remember Terry's 04 Worlds freestyle is amazing.
Yeah, it is. I think he got second that year.
Second or third, yeah, but.
Because, it was Raphael 03, Raphael 04.
It was
Makoto
bee sting behind his head. Yeah,
Makoto 04, 05.
No, 05 was... I
think it was Makoto again.
Buko won in 05.
Oh, yeah. Makoto got second.
Mm-hmm. And then in 06, he didn't final Makoto.
They were like characters, dude. Yeah, that was always the shit we got talked on, too, was if Makoto would have finaled, then me and Dana would have not won.
Yeah, I remember that, like at Worlds.
Which is probably, I mean, it's definitely true. But
who knows, dude, honestly.
He didn't fucking final, and it's on you if you fuck up your compulsories, dude. I'm sorry.
Makoto's great. Like, he's amazing. Don't. We love you, Makoto.
Yeah, I love Makoto. But I'm just saying,
ripping him apart.
I'm not ripping him apart.
If he can't do hop chops, if he can't do Eli hop chops,
I'm just saying,
fuck him. Go back home.
No, Makoto, listen. Enough people have come up to me and been like, well, not enough people. Boxler.
No, but yeah, Boxler, yeah.
And it's hurtful to be like, well, if this guy would have finaled,
you wouldn't have gotten
second. You wouldn't have gotten second. You would have gotten third at the very best. And it's like, but he didn't final. That's all I'm saying. Like,
no, I hear you.
You didn't get through the competition. So
it's good we're clarifying.
Makoto is a way better.
Put some
5A
respect
player.
On his name.
Of course, dude. I mean, I grew up watching it. We were.
I know you respect him.
Yeah,
just for the records.
Legendary. He'll like my posts sometimes, and I'm like still get so excited
me too,
when I see that.
Every time it's like a celebrity
so
when you see shit like that. Yeah,
he is a celebrity to me. So
a few years ago, Buko was posting about she found some like Buko caps, some Buko freehand caps somewhere, and I was like, oh, like I'll buy a set from you, and she's like, oh, expensive shipping to the U.S. Like I'll just bring to you someday, and I was like, oh fuck, God knows when I'll get those, but. That's
sick.
Funny.
Those were sick caps.
Yeah, her freestyle was incredible. You remember that freestyle? It really was. The video killed the radio star.
So clean. Like she went so clean with a responsive freehand.
I still use one of her triangles in some of my tricks. It's a great
that
triangle.
One section, I can picture it now where she does like 3 triangles in a row.
Video. Yeah. Dun,
yeah.
Dun. Yeah.
Holy shit, that's a good freestyle.
Dude, it's an amazing. Even today, that would be an incredible freestyle.
It would, just for how clean she went and how...
It was very well choreographed. It was
choreographed. That's the big thing because they weren't back then. Like people didn't... Makoto was really good at that too, choreographing.
Almost every Japanese player was very good at choreographing.
Makoto's shit was great. Dun, 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 dun. That like classical music that he used. And he like bounces the yo-yo off the fucking the counterweight.
Yeah.
And he's like spinning around and then catch. It's crazy shit.
I do that trick during my yo-yo shows. Kids love it. I just bounce it off the ground and it goes back and forth. And I use a metal yo-yo and it makes a loud ass noise. And everyone's like, "Whoa, was that on purpose?" And I do it again. They're like, "Oh my god."
That's funny. I love that. There's a lot of good content to dig up for old 2003, 4, 5, 5A stuff you should check out.
It's funny that I'm glad that you're bringing all these up because it is a lot more influential than I give it credit for. You know what I mean?
That's
not that I don't give it credit. I just don't ever think about it. You know?
That's what I'm saying. Everyone's always like, you guys, Tyler, everyone, modern 5A, but it's like we all had influences too.
Oh yeah, those pure 5A videos were incredible. One year for Yo-Yo Factory when we did 5A May, I think it was, we did the top 10 most influential 5A freestyles of all time. And the number 1 freestyle we did was Pon from Japanese Nationals that one year he won, 2005. Because that was just like, it was choreographed. The tricks were incredible for the time. It was like fast as hell. It was like almost as fast as Mickey yo-yos. he was like obviously like going in. We need to watch that freestyle again because that would get me hyped as fuck, yo.
Yeah.
Like that shit is it goes in. Like that freestyle is, and the song too, the
yeah. I haven't seen that one in so long. That shit goes
in. It's good. Sorry, I didn't mean to yell.
No, I haven't seen it in so long. I gotta rewatch it.
And he just like, you could tell he's going so fast. There would be mad times when like he would be doing ripcord tricks where like, you know, you double loop the counter right over the yo-yo and then like do like a tension trick and like undo one of the ripcords with like the counterweight or something.
Right.
You know? But like you do that and try to maintain the tension throughout the swing so you don't fuck up like your the momentum of the yo-yo. You know what I mean? So you keep the trick going clean. His shit would just be like bouncing all over the place and he was just so focused he didn't care. He was just like getting through the trick no matter what. He would be yerking it all over the place. Like he was going in, yo. Like he was so focused. Like, and I think Buko did like the same freestyle shit at Worlds and she got second. So it's like, yo, if he did that at Worlds, he would have been world champion that year without a doubt. Like, because that was at the time when if you did more tricks quicker, like you were just outscoring the other person. And like, he definitely did way more tricks.
Damn, go Pon. He rocks, dude. Yeah, I still love seeing his tricks pop up on my feed on it. I'm so glad he's still yo-yos.
Yeah.
He's got some cool yo-yos too. He has a cool looking yo-yo with whatever yo-yo recreation, maybe
Turning Point. I think maybe
Turning Point.
Yeah, he does.
Has like caps and stuff. It's a cool looking.
Yeah, he was like a big recess collector for a long time. He collected like every single, like the first year at Worlds when I was in Japan, he came and bought one of everything. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Wow.
Childhood hero. Like coming and buying all my shit. Thank you so much.
He rocks, dude.
Yeah, dude, he's the man. But that freestyle was incredible. Buko was incredible. There's a lot of good 5A players now. Like it's kind of slowly making a comeback, but it's like back in the day, like that's why it was so easy for us to kind of like maintain the hype. It's funny because like we almost like we were great, but like it was almost a step down from where they were when what I mean? Like because there were less of us, and like
we pushed the tricks a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. No, we definitely did.
But
like
performance wise, I mean, those guys are on another level, I think.
Yeah, 100%.
Just what characters they were.
And like way more influential in my opinion. Cause like
well it's earlier though.
So it is, yeah. So it's more
it's hard to say.
It's building blocks, yeah.
But always the very first will be like the most like fucking Steve inventing 5A in the first. Right. That's like the pillar, and then it's all down from there.
Yeah.
But it does go down like that kind of. Yeah. Now we're down. Not all. It's ups and downs.
It's like I would say more plateaued than dropped because it's just like instead of continuing to progress, it's just like flatlined, you know what I mean?
It really has.
Not in a bad way. Like John, everyone who plays 5A now is pushing it. Yeah. Like it's not, we can't shit on 5A. Like I've made sure to try to preface it in that way, just saying that like everyone who's playing, like Jared, John, everyone is Jared Marcus, John Wolf, who else?
It's just there's less people playing, so there's less like there's
less energy.
Owen Ekblad.
Owen's incredible, yeah.
So like
that other white kid that looks like
sort of I think they would agree it's gotten a little like hard to be excited about.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's nothing against their tricks. It's just that there's not like enough action in the scene to like keep it really moving at a steady rate.
Yeah.
And so it just needs a little kick in the butt and then it'll happen, dude.
Yeah.
There's so much out there with 5A.
I'm super proud that John's been able to also progress as much of a 1A player as
every time he posts.
Player.
He's posted a bunch recently, 1A, and it's unbelievable.
I need to go out there and like go on a thrifting trip with him just because the thrift in his area is outrageous.
Yeah.
Like, because it's like none of it's really from his area. Like, not a lot of people live there, so it's all from shit from out of town. You know what I mean? It's just like donations from other like Pittsburgh and like places people have money and like locally they get a lot of stuff too. But like it's just and everything there is just old as fuck. But yeah, John's like the area is like wild that he lives in. Who else from back in the day was a very influential 5A player? Dana was obviously incredible. Dana, I feel like, was just back in the day, people used to like be healthy and tap out of yo-yo when things got busy in life, you know what I mean? It's like, all right, I'm like 24, like I got a full-time job, like I graduated college, like I'll come to a contest if it's in my town or whatever, but I'm not gonna like post on the forum and like be making new videos all the time and running meets and blah, blah,
he
blah,
tapped
blah.
out for sure.
Yeah.
But good for him.
I met someone one time, I think, where was I forget, but just randomly somewhere, and they were like, oh, like, do you know I heard you say you yo-yo, or I saw you yo-yo, like, do you know Dana Bennett? And I was like, yeah, like he's one of my best friends, like I'm a world champion, he was world champion the year before me. And they're like, oh my god, I was gonna tell you that he's a world champion, like that's so cool. Yeah, I forget where this was, but like that was such a distinct moment, and I like emailed him about it, and then he was like, oh, that's so cool, I'm like teaching abroad in Spain right now, and I sent him a bunch of Yo-Yo Factory yo-yos.
Nice. Yeah,
he was technically on Yo-Yo Factory.
Yeah, he was
a brief time when they would just adopt anyone that wanted to be a Yo-Yo Factory player. Who else back in the day? Good influential 5A player from back in the day. Danny was really good. I wish that there's more footage of Danny playing 5A.
There's not enough. It's all in my memory. I don't remember, or there's no like footage.
No, yeah, that one Delaware 5A video.
Right. Yeah, that one was really good. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I had that somewhere saved, because it's somewhere on YouTube. Like someone uploaded it and the quality isn't great and the music isn't the same. But
worth a mention is Johnny Del Valle's Lion Flow.
Yes.
He did this video under a moniker, Lionel Flow, FLO, and it was called Lion Flow, and it was 1A tricks mostly, but it was clearly Johnny, but it was head cut off. And he was wearing long sleeves, so you couldn't see his giant muscles. He was wearing like a hoodie. So he does these crazy, I remember it's with a clear Hitman, no caps. And Johnny Del Valle posted like, this is my friend Lionel. He wanted to film some tricks, so I filmed some tricks with him. And he does these crazy 1A tricks. And then at the end, he does a 5A trick. And it's like, just the birth of Tech 5A.
It's so funny
you want to call Tech
if 5A. He posted it thinking about like, oh, like this is my friend Lionel. At least it's like
funny
when Chase was doing the fake personality thing, you like made a fake profile to do it. Right. It's like Johnny just like, oh,
it was like,
and he like the
cute one though. It was like a cute little publicity. It was really cool.
But the 1A is so like, obviously him. So obviously. The 5A could be something else. You know what I mean?
That. He does when Johnny does a trapeze, he'll slide it to the
right. The slide,
still copy that.
It goes underneath his non-throw handle a little bit.
Smooth a little bit. It just looks like, all right, here I go. I'm gonna do a trick.
I think he stole that from Jason Lee.
Probably.
Yeah.
I do that to this day because of them. Just sometimes I just think it looks cool, but he does that in every trick, so it's so very clearly Johnny. But this 5A trick is insane. Like it all fits into this small space, like, and he just like does a thing, and it's all very technical. And that's like John Robb has said that was hugely influential on him, and then John Robb and that video were hugely influential on me, and that's where like more of that counterweight based 5A came from for sure.
It's such a bizarre video to reference, like because we all watched it back in the day, but it's like I remember John Robb telling us that,
really like latched and being
like, what? Yeah. Like that was such a like. Why would you watch that video out of all of his other videos that are all really good, that have like cool music and stuff?
5A
because it's like all the other videos. I didn't even like Eminem, but it's like at least when you watch a buff random ass white dude doing anything, if Eminem is the soundtrack, it's like this makes sense. Like I'm not like vibing to it, but I'm like, like this fits, I guess. Like, but yeah, in that video, he used like a DJ Shadow song or whatever. So it's like
organ donor,
so it's like kind of artsy in a way, and it's like cool, the whole black backdrop, and it's not all of his other videos look like weird industrial shit.
Yeah. 9 Inch Nails minus the 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah. Who else? Good influential 5A player from back in the day. I'm trying to think like who would get second and third and fourth and fifth place at some of these contests.
I know. I can't remember.
Augie had a good few years in 5A that like
Augie did have, that's weird, but he did have really good
5A
years.
Would be one of those divisions where like, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
It would have like I don't want to call it Augie and Curdy and players like that a B tier player, or Paulo Bueno a few years ago before like you got back into yo-yoing.
Yeah.
Where like if you learn 10 5A tricks that are pretty good, you can do a 2-3 minute freestyle and place, you know what I mean? And if you learn like some longer one, like if you learn back in the day, it could be like electric fan or tangler or something like that would kind of.
Seth Peterson.
Seth.
That's a good 5A guy.
Miguel wasn't placing at that time, but Miguel was hugely influential on me. Miguel was probably.
Listen to this. Sorry.
Yeah, read out
2004 World Yo-Yo Contest 5A. So we got Makoto in first, Raphael in second, and Shingo in third.
Yeah.
Already, we talked about those guys. Great. Andrew Lin, fourth. Hiriyasu Ishihara,
that's
fifth. That's Pon.
Yeah, it's
right?
Pon, yes.
Tsubasa Onishi in sixth.
I remember that. Yeah. I mean, I don't remember that, but I remember people telling me about that. Like, he used to be not
very close. He was within 4 points of winning.
Of winning? The whole contest?
Oh, wait. No. I'm sorry. I was looking at a different number here.
That's funny.
But he was within 1 point of Pon. And then Makoto was way out in the front with a 97.6.
Yeah.
But Jack Rinka then in seventh. Seth Peterson in eighth. That was a great Seth freestyle.
Mm-hmm.
He used like emo music, and it was like he got on Duncan afterwards. Nate Sutter, Maya Nakamura, Buko, Matt Schmidt.
Those are all
Matt
people
Schmidt
that didn't final.
They didn't final. Yeah. Matt Schmidt.
Damn Matt shit.
Tommy, Sebastian Brock, Miguel Correa way down there.
Yeah.
Dan Bennett. It says
Dana
Bennett.
That's funny.
Jake Maloney, Brad Forshinger. Got 0 points from Australia. Brad. All right.
Poor Brad.
But yeah, a couple in there. Nate Sutter is a good one for sure.
Nate Sutter's sick. Matt Schmidt was very influential to me when I was a kid too.
Yeah,
I don't know if you ever saw him.
He was always showed up in clip videos.
Yeah, he was in a lot of those Doc College for the Easily Amused videos from back in the day.
Mm-hmm. Let's just for fun check out. I love that every World Yo-Yo Contest website is still online. Up. So you can see all the points.
I wonder who's paying for that.
It's got to be Greg. Right? I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. It's probably all hosted at the same place.
So that was your Buko one. Makoto got second. Buko was way out in front again by 10 points.
Yeah. People used to win by a huge margin.
Andrew Lin in third.
Because the performance category would be so subjective that basically it'd be like, oh, this person's out and ahead way better than the other people.
Check this out. This is a cool moment for Andrew, though. Andrew Lin in third with 81.6 points and Raphael in fourth with 81.3. 0.3 points.
Damn.
Andrew got that podium finish. I'm really happy he did.
And that was the last year he ever competed.
Yeah, it was. AJ Kirk in fifth. The first time an American ever got top 5 in 5A at Worlds.
That's so wild to me. Americans used to be so shit at competing.
But
they
right
still
behind him,
are, but
1.3 points away, Dana Bennett.
I forget his freestyle from that year, but it was good.
I don't remember. I don't know if I've ever seen it.
I definitely watched it. He's wearing a purple Buzz-On shirt.
Okay.
He like drops a yo-yo and the ring pops out and rolls off the stage.
Okay.
Because like for the first, someone told me this years later, I never noticed it. The first 90 seconds, he goes perfect. Like he does not miss a trick, and then he drops the yo-yo, and even the drop isn't that crazy. It would have been like -1 or whatever, but then the ring pops out and it goes down the stage. And I think he, you know how the Buzz-On players would normally only have 1 or 2 good yo-yos. They had to switch to like his shit yo-yo afterwards, and then he just went all downhill, and it was like, God damn it! Like,
damn, bro, that's crazy.
Yeah,
pretty cool spin top competition.
Dave Bazan with a 99.2. He went clean as hell. You don't get any negatives in spin top. I mean, not that matters. Like if every judge has you in first place, you're just going to get 100 after the normalized score anyway. But
John Gates and Takeshi in third. Love that.
Have I ever told you the story about John Gates when he did a dab at
no.
This yo-yo player in Denver manages like a chain of dispensaries, and his family owns like a jewelry shop. He's balling as hell, but he like loves to dab yo-yo players out just like to uncomfortable degrees. And
is that the guy that owns Reticulated Return Time?
No. Okay. He also dabs people out, but this is a different yo-yo player. This guy is like way into the marijuana industry. But he like had us all over his crib. We're all like sitting there chilling, smoking, yo-yoing. We're there for like hours. and John Gates comes over and he brings a bunch of old yo-yo gems for us to play with. And that's who we should interview one time. That would be a sick one. Write that down.
Yeah.
Here, text me about that so we don't forget.
Yeah.
So John does a dab, right? And like Tucker would do these things. His name is Tucker. He doesn't care. He would do what's called a ninja dab, where like someone's there, like they're hitting the rig and like they're sucking down a dab, and then you come up behind you over your shoulder and put a dab that's like 3 times the size of the dab you just took in the nail at the same time. And like, of course, you cough or whatever, and you're going crazy, but like, who's gonna turn down a bunch of free drugs? So you're just and then suck down the rest of it. John did that, and he was just like on another planet. He instantly went to sleep. Like he goes and lays down on the couch, goes to sleep, and we're all like just sitting at a table, like still dabbing, talking about yo-yo shit, occasionally standing up or whatever. And like 2 or 3 hours goes by, and John's just like asleep. He's like maybe in his mid 40s at this point, like maybe late 40s or something. And then all of a sudden he just goes up, he like sits up, and he had like the leg thing kicked out, like the leg rest kicked out, and he sits up, and you know how like when they close really loud, everyone audibly hears, and it's like, and he's like, I'm gonna fucking throw up, and like,
no.
Yeah, it was crazy. He literally
puked.
Yeah, he like someone luckily got the trash can in time, but he like no, I don't think they did actually. I think he may have like vomited on the floor quite a bit, but he like projectile vomited across the room, and it was just like, Jesus Christ.
She'll sneak up on you. I don't blame him.
Oh yeah, Beryl, I wish that you were a nice kitty so I could pet you, but you're very rough.
Very rough guy.
You're a rough kitty.
I'll come around one of these days.
Oh,
come here, Bubba.
That was a good pool going through that list.
Yeah, that was fun. I think that'll probably do it for this episode.
Yeah, it's a good cutoff.
But that was fun.
Yeah,
we talked about a lot of stuff. We're recording?
Yeah, we're rolling. I'm sorry. Did you want me to tell you? Should I have consented to letting you record? No.
No, I like it.
I like it when you sneak up on me unannounced and just start recording, Tyler.
The thing with ball golf is if you want to play the best course in the world or the country, you can't get in. You just never will. You can't. And you never fucking will because you have to know someone or you have to make a certain amount of money.
Or you got to eat a baby in front of Bill Clinton.
Like no fresh dough anymore. It's really gone downhill, unfortunately. But.
Yeah, it's a lot harder to put swastikas on the pizza when they're frozen.
Pepperoni.
Yeah. What do you think about or green peppers if you're vegan? Whatever kind of swastika you want to make, we don't discriminate.
Right.
No, I meant I drive by Dutch Wonderland.
Dutch Wonderland is Lancaster. That's right. Okay. There was one near our house, near where I live now, and it's still there, and it's the hut-shaped building, but they are takeout only. You can no longer sit in them.
It's an abortion clinic.
Yeah, takeout.
Sorry.